She said, "It's just a fling," but I saw her text planning a future with him over dinner, part 1. I thought I was losing my mind. I was sitting on the couch, scrolling through my phone absent-mindedly, when I stumbled across something I wasn't supposed to see. I wasn't even snooping. At least, that's what I kept telling myself. It just happened to be there. A notification from her phone, casually lying on the coffee table beside me. Emma was in the other room, making dinner. She hadn't even noticed I'd picked it up. The message was from some guy named Jason, and it wasn't just a friendly text. It wasn't just casual chit-chat. No, this was different. "Can't wait for this weekend. Maybe we can start looking at places for us." The words hit me like a punch to the stomach. I read them again, and then again, and with each pass, I felt my heart sink further. Places for us, my mind was racing. I didn't know who Jason was, but I knew enough to recognize that kind of language. The kind that was spoken by someone who was planning something long-term. The kind of language reserved for relationships. The kind that didn't fit into the casual fling Emma had insisted this was. My throat tightened. I glanced over my shoulder, half expecting Emma to appear at any moment, but she was still in the kitchen, humming as she chopped vegetables. I set her phone down slowly and let the gravity of what I had just read settle in. I thought I had everything figured out. We've been dating for almost a year, and things have been good. Really good. Emma was the person I'd see my future with. She made me laugh, she was caring, and we had the same goals in life. We talked about traveling, moving in together, eventually getting married. So what the hell was this? Why was she texting another guy about places for us? I didn't know what to do. My hand was shaking slightly as I reached for my own phone, checking the time. It was 7:15 p.m. I had half an hour before dinner was ready. The clock was ticking, and I had to figure out what I was going to say. Was I going to confront her now, or wait until after dinner? I didn't even know if I could wait. This felt like one of those moments where I needed answers now. I stood up abruptly, pushing my phone into my pocket and walking toward the kitchen. The smell of garlic and onions filled the air, and Emma was standing at the stove, stirring something in a pot. She looked up at me when I entered, her face brightening. "Dinner's almost ready," she said, her voice warm, completely unaware of what I had just read. I couldn't smile. I didn't feel like smiling. I felt like my whole world had just cracked open, and I was standing on the edge of it. "Emma," I said, my voice tight. She turned to face me, wiping her hands on a dish towel. "Yeah." I hesitated. I didn't want to confront her like this. Not with dinner almost ready. Not with everything still fresh. But I had to know. I had to hear her say it. "I saw the messages, Emma," I said, my voice barely above a whisper. Her face fell. It was so subtle, I almost didn't catch it. But I saw it, and it felt like she had just slapped me across the face. What do you mean?" she stammered, suddenly fumbling with the spoon she had been holding. "You know what I mean." I was getting angry now, my heart hammering in my chest. I saw the text. "Places for us." That's what he said. "So, tell me, Emma, what the hell is going on?" The room seemed to shrink around me. The air thickened. My whole body was tense. She didn't say anything for a long moment. Her eyes shifted toward the counter and then back to me. Her lips parted, like she was trying to find the right words, but none of them came. Instead, she set the spoon down with a clatter, walked to the fridge, and grabbed a bottle of wine. She opened it quickly, pouring a glass before turning back to face me. "I told you about him," she said finally, her voice shaky but still defensive. "Jason's just a co-worker, Ben. He's been going through some stuff lately, and I've been helping him. That's all. It's nothing serious." I wanted to believe her. I really did. But those words, asterisk places for us asterisk, kept echoing in my head. "You're telling me this is just helping him?" I asked, my voice rising now. "You're planning a future with him, Emma? That's what this looks like to me." She took a deep breath, trying to steady herself. "No, Ben, it's not like that. I swear, you're the one I'm with. I love you. You love me." The words tasted bitter on my tongue. "Then why are you planning a future with him? Why is he talking about us in a way that doesn't involve me?" Her face crumpled for a moment. She looked at me like she was seeing me for the first time, but then her expression hardened again. "You're overreacting. It's not what you think. I swear." I wanted to scream. I wanted to throw my hands up and walk out of there, But part of me, the part that still cared, wanted to hear her out. I wanted to believe the woman I'd spent the last year of my life with. But how could I? I took a step back, trying to process everything. The tightness in my chest was unbearable. You say nothing serious, but it doesn't sound like nothing. If this is really nothing, why are you hiding it from me? Why didn't you just tell me? Her gaze faltered, and I saw a flicker of guilt in her eyes. She was lying, and I knew it. I didn't want you to think there was something more, she said, her voice cracking. I didn't want to hurt you. I swear. And in that moment, I wasn't sure if I wanted to hear anymore. The words she was saying didn't feel like they belonged to her anymore. They felt rehearsed. I swear, I didn't want to hurt you. I had heard those lines too many times before in situations where the truth wasn't enough to make the pain go away. I looked at her, at the woman I thought I knew, and felt a crushing wave of doubt wash over me. So what now? What happens next, Emma? Do I just forget about what I saw? Do I pretend like you didn't just tell me you were planning a future with someone else? She stood there for a second, her hands trembling slightly as she clutched the glass of wine. Please, Ben, she said, her voice soft now, almost pleading. I never wanted this to happen. I'm sorry. I know I screwed up, but it's not what you think. But as I stood there, looking at her, I realized that the damage had already been done. I didn't know if I could trust her anymore. And I wasn't sure if she was telling me the truth, or if she even knew what the truth was anymore. The dinner that was supposed to bring us together felt like the last thing on my mind. I need some space, I said quietly, turning toward the door. I'll be back later. I didn't wait for her reply. I couldn't. Part 2. I didn't know where to go, but I left anyway. I couldn't stay there, not with her standing there looking at me, like she hadn't just broken everything we'd built. The front door clicked shut behind me, and the cold air hit me like a slap in the face. I walked down the street aimlessly, not caring about the direction, just needing to move. My head was spinning, my stomach in knots. I wasn't even sure what I was hoping for. Answers? Space? A way to stop the hurt from swallowing me whole? Everything felt like a blur of confusion, betrayal, and anger. I tried calling my best friend, Josh, but it went straight to voicemail. Of course it did. Why would anyone be available when you needed them most? I pulled my jacket tighter around me and kept walking, one foot in front of the other. My mind wouldn't stop replaying the moments from earlier. The look on her face when she saw that I knew, the way she fumbled for excuses, the pain in her eyes as she tried to convince me everything was fine. It wasn't fine. It hadn't been fine for a while. An hour passed before I found myself standing outside a bar. I didn't know why I'd ended up here. I had no interest in drinking, no interest in being around strangers who didn't know what had just happened. But my feet had led me here, and I wasn't about to stand out in the cold for longer than I had to. So I walked in. The dim lighting, the smell of beer and fried food, the hum of conversations and laughter, it all felt so distant. I could hear people talking, but it felt like I was in another world. I sat at the bar, ordered a beer, and tried to shake the fog in my head. I had no idea what I was supposed to do now. After a few sips of the beer, I pulled out my phone again, but instead of diving back into her messages, I went straight to my contact list. There was one number I could always count on. I hit call before I had a chance to think about it. Hey man, what's up? Josh's voice was familiar and steady, the way it always was when I needed him. I took a deep breath. I need to talk. You all right? He asked, clearly sensing the tension in my voice. Not really, I muttered, then decided I might as well get everything off my chest. I think I'm about to lose my girlfriend. Josh was silent for a beat, clearly processing what I'd just said. What happened? I ran my fingers through my hair and recounted everything. The text from Jason, the messages about planning a future together, and Emma's insistence that nothing was going on until I caught her in her lie. I told him about the fight, the coldness, the doubt that had crept in when I saw the way she acted when confronted. I spilled everything, even the stuff I wasn't sure I was ready to say out loud. When I finished, there was another long pause before Josh spoke. Man, I'm sorry. I know how much you care about her. I do care, I said, my voice cracking. I thought I meant something to her. We've talked about everything, about moving in together, about traveling. I thought we were on the same page. But now it feels like I'm just some guy she's passing the time with. You deserve better, Ben. Josh said quietly. You deserve someone who is as invested in you as you are in them. If she's out there planning a future with someone else, that's not fair to you. I knew he was right, but hearing it from him, hearing the words out loud, didn't make it any easier to accept. I still loved her. Hell, I still wanted to believe her when she said it was just a fling. But I couldn't ignore what I'd seen. I don't know what to do, I said, the weight of the situation finally hitting me. I feel like I've just been living in some kind of dream, and I've woken up to find out it was all a lie. You need to take care of yourself right now, Josh said. Don't make any decisions while you're in this fog. Give yourself time. You've got every right to be pissed, but you can't let her lie to you and just walk away like it's nothing. Not after everything you've been through. I nodded, even though he couldn't see me. Yeah, I know. Just take some time. You'll figure it out. I ended the call shortly after, but I didn't feel any better. I thought I would, but the truth was I was still in limbo. Still stuck between the girl I thought I knew and the reality that was now slapping me in the face. I left the bar soon after, walking back to my apartment in a daze. I didn't want to go home, but I knew I had to. Emma was still there. I had to face whatever was waiting for me. When I stepped into the apartment, she was sitting on the couch, her head in her hands. The faint smell of dinner lingered in the air, but the warmth of the food and the moment had long since evaporated. She looked up when she heard the door click open, her face pale, her eyes tired. You came back, she said, her voice soft. I need to talk to you, I said, my words blunt and tired. She nodded, looking like she had been crying. I could see it now, the redness in her eyes, the way she fidgeted with her fingers. But that wasn't enough. That wasn't enough to make up for what I had seen. I didn't sit down. I couldn't. I had to keep my distance. You need to explain yourself, Emma. Right now. No more lies. I saw the messages. The ones about Jason. The places for us. Tell me what that means. Tell me it's not what I think it is. She opened her mouth, but the words faltered. Her lips trembled, and I saw the shame in her eyes. But shame wasn't enough to fix this. She had to give me something more. I'm sorry, Ben, she finally said, her voice barely a whisper. I never meant for you to find out like this. It's not what you think. It's complicated. Don't lie to me, I said, my voice hard. I need the truth. All of it. And that was when she finally broke. She looked down at her lap, silent for what felt like forever. And when she spoke again, her voice was so small, so quiet, it felt like a betrayal in itself. I've been seeing Jason for the last few months. It started as a work thing, but she stopped, tears welling up in her eyes. I don't know when it became more, but it did. My heart shattered in that moment. I couldn't even respond. I just stood there, staring at her, unable to process what she had just said. She'd been seeing someone else. All this time. Why didn't you tell me? I finally managed to choke out. I was scared. I didn't know how to tell you. I didn't want to hurt you, Ben. I didn't know what else to do. I shook my head. The tears I'd been holding back finally slipped down my cheeks. I wasn't angry anymore. I was just broken. You should have told me sooner, I whispered. I'm so sorry, she said, barely able to speak through her own sobs. But sorry didn't matter anymore. Not now. Not after everything.